the topic of self-compassion is very much tied into mindfulness. It's sort of, you can't have one without the other. And for some of us, self-compassion is really tricky and difficult. If we didn't grow up in an environment that was very compassionate, then using self-compassion can almost seem selfish or pity. Self-compassion is anything but pity. We're not saying, oh, look at me, I'm so sad, or oh, look at me, I'm having such a hard time. No, it's to say, I'm having a hard time. What do I need right now? And so a way that I'm going to introduce that is to use touch. So wherever you feel brings up that little bit of self-compassion within you, you would try it, whether it's to put your both hands together, whether it's to go into a prayer position, or if it's to go into kind of a hand on the heart, that's a big one for me, or a hand on the belly. And the idea and what I invite you to do is see which one of those sensations brings out self-compassion for you. And if it's hand on the heart, which for many of us it is, you can use that as hand on my heart, what do I need right now? The science, as you know, I always like to talk about the science. So the science behind self-compassion shows they've done many studies. And the higher your level of self-compassion, the higher your level of resilience. And isn't resilience what we need right now? And you would think that having a lot of self-compassion and, you would think that that doesn't work in hand with resilience. And it does. And compassion to self has to be there first before compassion to others. They always say, if you want to be really compassionate to those around you, start with compassion to yourself. So the exercise that I want to leave you with today is to take pen to paper and to write down some notes or sentences to yourself as if you were speaking to a friend. So we're all in this anxious and stressed out time. Maybe write down, what would you say to a friend? What words would you tell a friend who is really suffering or struggling? And sometimes that's the portal through which then you can bring self-compassion to yourself.